come on in. The house has been painted and we are ready to rock and roll in the village. Yes, yes, yes. So, tonight, as usual, we're talking about Vegetable Soup for Women, a book that I would had the privilege of contributing to with nine other or eight other authors. I'm so blessed and grateful to have had this experience. It's one thing to write a book all by yourself and with spirit guidance, but this book came together very special energy of cooperation and people being asked if they wanted to contribute. And then we end up with nine authors. So it's a very special book that we like to highlight once a week and give you a chance to buy uh, with um, with the season. Now I'm offering a special deal on vegetable soup tonight. This is my personal deal that I'm offering as one of the authors. You can get Vegetable Soup for Women as a PDF tonight. Let's see. I cannot see myself. Okay, Dr. D. Let's see, adding to the stage. Yeah. Something going on with Dr. D right now. She's getting her Wi-Fi together, I guess. I'm going to bring her in and test her audio at least, but I can't see her, the video. Let's see. Let me say, check your Wi-Fi. She's struggling with that. Okay. So what vegetable soup for women, I'm offering a special deal tonight for $3.99 because everywhere I look, Amazon, everybody's offering these Black Friday deals. And we might have to have Dr. D on audio because she's having trouble with her video. But I'll bring her on in a minute. So I'm offering for $3.99. You can get Vegetable Soup for Women as a PDF, and all you have to do is send me a Cash App. That's how I do. Send me a Cash App, and then let me know your email address. And for $3.99, only for this Friday and for the weekend, you can get it for $3.99 because it's Black Friday, and we want to join in the energy of offering you products, valuable. This is a valuable product, as you'll hear tonight from Dr. D, that can nourish you in ways you just wouldn't believe. So $3.99, I'm going to put that banner up for Black Friday. We call it Black Friday, whatever. Let's just get in the groove. And so if you send me a Cash App for $3.99, I'll send you the PDF tonight. Okay. So let me see if I can add Dr. D. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's really funny. I just can't see you.
Yeah, that seems to be a problem. I'm like, I can hear, but I can't see myself. That's interesting.
So,
Okay.
so this is kind of like Blog Talk Radio again, because that was 11 years of couldn't see anybody, but you could at least hear them, right?
Right.
So I don't my computer has been acting so weird lately. It just goes to another screen all by itself, and I'm like, is there a ghost in here or something?
No, energy.
Because it keeps changing screens.
No,
So listen, if I
energy.
disappear, you just keep talking, okay?
Okay.
Because we don't want to interrupt the flow.
I get you.
I learned so much about
Let's
my
see.
spiritual partner who left. The reason why he was constipated all his life, because I watched this teaching about the flow of energy, and he was talking about if you don't let traumas and conflicts flow right through you, if you're holding on to conflict, in fact, to me, it's about going to the past and it's not being in the present moment enough.
Asha.
when you keep going back to look at what happened to me in 20 years ago, well, look at what happened to me 30 years ago. But instead of saying, right in this present moment, I am so powerful. In this present moment, I am here with a powerful sister, Dr. D, who I bonded with for the last few days. I bonded with her in such a special way. And so I am just so excited about what Dr. D and I can do in the future, blah, blah, blah. Instead of, oh, my mother was an alcoholic. And I was just so sad most of my life. And I just haven't gotten over that. And I'm still struggling. That will cause constipation. Okay. That's what I'm learning. And so my partner who transitioned on October 23rd, my grandmother's birthday, that's the wildest thing that I revealed to me. He left, he took his soul out of his body. He chose, I don't know who is making all that noise at this hour. He chose to leave his body on the 23rd of October, which was my maternal grandmother's birthday. When I heard that, I started to flow. Let me tell you, I started to flow when I heard grandma's birthday. He decided to leave after all these months of watching him suffer in pain. I was like, when is he going to leave? When is this pain going to stop? When is this pain going to stop? And then my grandmother's birthday is when he decided to leave. It's like, what? So that's why Dr. D and I are becoming so close, because we think a lot, and we understand so well that we are just becoming close sisters. Okay. Oh, you're here. Your face is here. I see your face. Okay, I can hear your voice. What did you do? Go back and adjust Wi-Fi or something?
I went out and came in, and then it said, okay, now it's eating up my power. So I don't know what's going on. I think it's an energy surge. I go through that. Where, remember I told you I shut down things, radios. Remember I told you I was doing a reading one time and the whole radio show shut down, and the whole electricity went out in the whole block.
Here
So
we are.
it's called up leveling.
Anything,
That's what I call it. I
anything.
call it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I said anything can happen these days.
Totally.
But my point is flowing. That is, I'm sorry, that's the key. My partner for 5 years is teaching me, still be in his soul level. He's still teaching. I was looking at a picture of him today, and it was like he was talking through the picture. It's like, okay. So flow, and the flow is so important. That is the key. So Dr. D, we are so grateful to have you back. And we want to know what you're doing these days. And see, there we go. The screen left again. I just clicked right on back. We want to know what you're doing. We want to know what you're doing these days. And I understand you had a chance to review the Vegetable Soup for Women book. And I want you and I to really talk about the season we're in of celebration, of food, of family. And of course, Jesus is going to be in the picture. I walk through my neighborhood and Jesus is everywhere now. It's like, okay, here we go. So I'm like getting ready to shine some light on all this craziness. So anyway, let's start out with, why don't you bring us up to date? What have you been up to? And what did you think about Vegetable Soup for Women?
I've been traveling. I've been house hunting. I've been searching for a house. I found a house. I found land. What I learned in my travels this far: speak of what you want and stick to it. Don't let others try to persuade you to go their way. Like I was talked, I said I wanted 5 acres for months, and I let other people talk me out of it. And like, no, just look for 2 acres. Oh no, let's look for 1 acre. Problem after problem after problem. If it does not flow, you do not go. I basically went with someone, and they went and they said, well, what do you need? And that was the key point. What do you need? Why do you need 5 acres of land? And everybody's like, well, no, lease the land. That was one of my agents. You just buy what you have for your house and just lease the land. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go out of my house and ride in my car and go visit a piece of land to do the things that I want to do on my land. Now that doesn't work. Then I said, you know what? Maybe I'll just do that. Just to get it over with. Spirit was like, I'm gonna make you stick to your guns. You said what you want. You spoke it out to the universe. No, it might not be coming in the time that you think, but it's already here. But you don't realize it's here. I was like, nah. Come to find out, found the property. It said 4.9. And I was like, well, I'll take it because it's almost 5, right? We started going through the paperwork. It's 5.91
Okay,
acres of land.
we're Wi-Fi challenged again.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, keep flowing.
Okay. So I wind up with 5.91 acres of land. That being the case, okay, you say what you want, you stick to it. Don't let someone talk you out to what you said and what you dream of or what you were spoken for you to do. Because if you do, you'll find out you'll run into a lot of obstacles. Not obstacles. It'll make you stick to your guns or what you said you wanted. So be careful. Your words are powerful. That's what I learned. My words are powerful. I am people say a manifestor generator by the human design. I know I say what I want and I always get what I want. That's what I learned since my daughter's transition. And my son pointed it out as well. I never noticed it because it flows so naturally. Now, with that being said, I read the book and it had a lot of key points. I even contacted a gentleman from the book to talk about solar power and what else? Solar power as well as tiny homes. That was something that we had talked about. There's something that I had wanted to do. And I was like, well, I've seen this in Thailand. I've seen it in Mexico. All of this stuff is like the norm for me, but to read it, it brought it home. And some key points, which I like, was a recipe for success, is about how she took the cookie recipe. Y'all need to get the book. How she took selling cookies, the basic things that everybody liked, and sold them for a box and made it and created income. But what I also like, it says, what are your skills? Because this is what I asked my girlfriend. If you don't have nothing else, if you lose your job tomorrow, what skill do you have that you can use? Whether it's sewing clothes, whether it's voicing, speaking for somebody, being an advocate, coach, a life, life coach. A lot of people don't realize they're natural life coaches, and that's in them. So how can you coach somebody and help them? And you can actually get paid for that. There's a lot of people and companies looking for life coaches out there, a lot of them. So when she was bringing that key point, it was like recipes. But at the end of each lesson, and I say lesson because it's something that you keep repeating and becomes a lifestyle after you regurgitate it. So your answer might change. You might say one this today, but you could go back and work on it. It's like a workbook. It's a follow-up workbook, a daily workbook, a daily journal that you look back on and you set your goals and you go back to. So for me, it was invigorating to get all these different points. Which was great because I've been in and out of the Mennonite community. So I know kind of how they work. I've been to their church. I see how they help each other. Even how the Amish come and do the barnyard, hold and they build it together. It's almost like in my grandmother's time. When someone could not pay rent, they used to have what they call rent parties. So somebody's frying chicken, whatever, to get this person and they pay for the place. And guess what? They got their rent paid. That was a community. That's what we did as people to help each other out. We have gotten out of that and being more into materialistic because we have to, but we've forgotten the ways of our great ancestors that have passed before us that showed us you don't really, no shade to the system, but you don't need to rely on the system. You can rely on yourself and you're self-reliant. You have everything that you need within yourself, but you got to realize who you are. You got to realize that you are the magi of your life. And because you are magi, magician, magic, wonderful being, You can create anything that you want, but you got to remember you can create anything that you want. And everything starts with it. You begins and start with you. Your mind thought, changing your mind thought by saying something negative. Dick Gregory used to say, "You tell 3 billion trillions cells why you can't do something." You speak that to yourself. You be like, "Well, I'm going to do this," and then you say, "Oh, I can't." You just reverse what you said you was going to do. So it's been told
Absolutely.
to us in many ways, but we have forgotten and we have not processed it properly because we're so busy, we're being distracted by all the hoopla that's going on, the circus that's going on around us. And I'm not just talking about the news and the person in the office, and all these things are just a distraction to keep you from focusing on you and making sure that you ever what we call I call level up. We upgrade just like computers. We are the computer. We are the crystals. We are the magic. When we realize we are the battery that makes things run, woo, is nothing that you can do. But you got to realize you are the battery. You are the one that makes everything run so it keeps going and going and going. And that's what I learned from this book. But there's so many different pieces that you can take out of it and get in contact about building a community, who and being accountable. Put your tribe together. That even something like is basically reiterated everything that I've been working on and talking with, building my own tribe, building my own community. If people in your life are not where you want to be, you can't make somebody. I used to be one of those people. I want to drag everybody up with me, but not everybody's supposed to be where you are. And you got to accept that. And because they're not doing what you think they should do, step back and let them fall. Because sometimes you're blocking their lesson from the blessing, because we can't do that. That's what I learned. They got to be accountable for their decisions and sit back and don't say anything. Whether you agree or not, be like, okay. And some people think, oh, well, she agreed with me. No, I'm just not going to waste my energy, my thought, my mind. If that's what you believe, I'm not going to sit there and change your mind, because it's not my job. It's not my job to save you. I am not Superwoman anymore. I ripped that S off my chest. I am just me. If I can help you, I can help you. And if you want my help,
Okay, it's gonna be one of those nights. It looks like. We Wi-Fi is doing its thing, and my computer is doing its thing. So it's like I can't even post this banner that I wanted to post. Dr. D. Let's see. Started. Oh, here. Starting edit. All right, everybody. You heard her. You heard her about the book. She has, for someone who has been working. Computer went off. Oops. For someone who's been looking for land, this book became very important to Dr. D because it not only helped her look into Mennonite community, because we got an article or story in there about the Mennonite community. This book came in so handy, which again tells me the divine timing on this book is there waiting for you. So that's why starting tomorrow 11/27, I'm offering the book for $3.99. Just send a cash app to dollar Vieta Robinson and send me an email with your email, or you can send me your email to my phone. If you need my phone, let me know. Today is also my biological father's birth earth day. So this is going to be this whole weekend. I'm giving this discount to honor my dad. Oh, she's back. Dr. D is back. It's going to be one of those. We're flowing though. We just got to keep flowing. That's the
it's all
message.
good. That's what I said. It is what it is. Everything is magical. We're the magical beings. For some reason, I think this, like I said, this is my up leveling period. So I'm up leveling. I'm transitioning from where I was from minute to minute. So I'm transitioning from being a non-house owner to a house owner and a land owner. So that comes with responsibility and new energy from the highest level. That's how I'm looking at it. It's transitioning into up leveling. So
And you've been a kind of a nomad, right?
yeah, yes,
So
ma'am.
this is your season to settle down, get your reparations, your land. I call them land reparations. People, if
All right.
if you think this government's gonna hand you a check for reparations, you're gonna die uh, waiting for it, in my opinion. So it's better that we do what Dr. D is saying. I think we got echo. Is there? Do you hear an echo?
Uh-uh.
Okay, I don't know
I
what
see
that.
I'm on here like 3 times.
Oh, that's the echo then.
I'm on here
So
3 times. I don't know why, but I see me
okay,
3 times.
really.
Yes.
Let me do this. Okay, remove. I'm gonna remove you and come back. I'm gonna remove me and then bring you back in. Let's see if that helps. I think I still hear it. Either way, this is your season to get your rep, and everyone else can claim that too.
Ashe. You
Instead of
believe?
saying, "Oh, the government owes me," the government had nothing to do with all them European slave owners putting you on the plantation. That was corporation business going. Especially the Zionist mafia working to make money off human beings, like they still doing in the music industry and like every industry. So the way Dr. D is explaining and sharing, she made a decision she wants. So you ask the universe, you tell the universe, this is what I think we should do. And if the universe is in agreement with you, it's going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm. I dreamed
You,
about, see, for me, I dreamed about owning land for many, many, many years. My kids were very young. I had a dream, and it was funny. In the dream, my daughter was not with me. My son, it was just me and my son. Now this is, my daughter was here. No, no, no shade, but in the dream, we were actually in a forest, and I can go out to the forest, and I had a white Jeep. Guess what? I have a white truck, a SUV. My daughter was not here, and the way the house was designed, like talking about bamboo floors, the computer, everything. The computer. My son had a computer, but the computer was a certain place, and I had a kitchen. So I dreamed. I knew of this for a long time. I dreamed about islands for a long time, but I also dreamed I own an island. So who's to say I do and I don't? It could be that I'm on an island. I was on Guam. I was on the Big Island. I've been on Merritt Island in Florida. Um, I've always wind up on island. I've lived in Koh Samui in Thailand. That's an island. I'm trying to think of other places. Um, no, I was in Belize, and San Ignacio. That wasn't an island. And Mexico is in Merida. That wasn't an island either. But I was close to islands, and the people that I surrounded when I was in Merida, I lived in little what they call little Cuba. Cuba area, where I lived in a gated community, and my community was Cubans. So the Spanish I spoke was really good for them, but the Spanish on the outsides was a little different. There's Mexican Spanish, there's Castile Spanish, and then the Spanish they teach you here. You got to really re-educate yourself on this in the language to be able to understand because certain things are not the same thing that you think. When I went there, I had a lot of friends that were patient with me and taught me. So for me, it's talking about, again, about dreams. If you say what you want, going back to what you say it out there. Say what you want. A long time ago in the SGI Buddha Soka Gakkai International, Dr. Ikeda would say, if you want something, write it down. So if you want to mate, you would write it down and you would chant nam yo hore kekyo, and you put it, and you got your gohanzen, and you sit in front of it and you chant. But you're writing down these qualities that you want in your life, whether it's a house, whether it's a car, a mate. And I got deeper. Was I specified each thing that I wanted. It just made me to go deeper. What kind of mate that I want? And that made me look, so I was not going to accept nothing less than what I got. And then Spirit sent me a gentleman that was quite older than I was and showed me what a real man is, not a boy, because that's what he told me. I was used to raising boys to be a man, and that's not my job to raise somebody else's child. They mama did that already. And if they haven't learned the lesson, that's something they need to go back and work on. So that's
That's right.
where some of us women, they say we're alpha, we're more masculine. And the reason we're masculine, because some men are not masculine enough to stand up with us. If you're a woman, you should be able to feel comfortable to go into your feminine side and be comfortable and feel safe and protected. And that is something that I learned from being with this particular gentleman at the time, that I could let my hair down. I could be feminine. There's all lessons that we learned. I met him in Brooklyn, New York, of all places, and I lived in Bushkill, Pennsylvania. And I met him training under Queen Afua as one of her Abut teachers as Sacred Women, doing the lessons and doing the work and the detoxification and stuff. And we just got along. And he let me know, because I didn't think I was smart. Believe it or not, I thought I was dumb, because that was what was programmed in for me, to believe I was dumb. I was not smart enough. I wasn't going to make it. And then I meet this gentleman, and we're having deep conversations. And he was the one, he said, you can walk in any room and have a conversation with anybody. Why do you shirk down, or as my girl Tony Jones would say, why you dim your light? And I was like, I don't know. It just became a habit. You don't don't want to outshine people, but I don't mind being behind. And he's like, but maybe that's not where Most High wants you. You ever thought about that? I was like, well, I don't like to be in front of a whole bunch of people. That was my excuse. But it got me out of my shell. And look, I wrote books. I did radio show for over 14 years before anybody knew what an internet radio show, before there was a blog talk. I was on something called Achieve Radio. We're talking about old school, where I have my computer, and he did the work of calling my guests to come on my show. And the only thing I did at that time, I thought I was a raw vegan chef that worked with people that had medical illness. I didn't think that was nothing special. I just got on and just did what I did, and then I went on and got onto Blog Talk. Was on a lot of people's shows, and then from there I decided, you know what, I wanted to do UStream video. It was a TV called UStream, so I got
Mm.
into what they call vlogging, video vlogging, or now it's called podcast. See, I'm
Yeah,
old.
yeah. The names just keep changing. Yeah. And
So
with AI, everything keeps changing.
right. So, I was the one getting on all like Facebook and doing Facebook Live and getting everything together all at the same time. And then I would do shows. But my daughter was my business manager, so she would make sure that I was at the farmers markets. I was in the festivals where I was one of the chefs presenting at these festivals. My daughter was my courage. My daughter was my strength at that time to make me actually, after my mate passed, to actually shine where I didn't want to shine. So they made me step into the person that everybody called the Food Alchemist, and AKA Dr. D, and the Food Alchemy Network, and now it's 963B for You Network. Those people in my life made me shine my light and not dim it down, no matter what, anything that I encountered. So that's why I want to encourage other women and men: say what you want, make it a point, write it down, because when you write it down, it sticks longer. The more you write it down, the more it stick. Like you write it down 9 times and you go back and you read it. Each time you read it, it reinforces what you want in your mind that you can't get away. Then you'll start visualizing on it about it. Then you'll start seeing, and then guess what? People will start appearing in your path that are supposed to be in your path. People will start coming and like, you know what? I've been on this show and I talked to a friend of mine because I was hibernating. I wasn't going to do shows. I haven't done shows and goodness knows how long. And I come on your show, and my girlfriend was like, "Now you know you got to come on mine." I wasn't expecting that. She let my other friend say, "What's up with you? You get on somebody's show and don't tell me?" And I'm like, I was not expecting that. Spirit said, "See, I told you. Once you open that can of worms, this is what's going to happen." And I was like, "Okay, I got you." So that was what I was dealing with today, as like, well, and I have no problem. I love to read. So this book, I'm encouraging everybody to get it. And the reason I'm encouraging is so helpful to you about helping you in so many different ways, spiritually, mentally, and physically. The mental, we really in people of color. We have a stereotype about not getting mental help. Why? Because we're taught, or our parents been taught, and our other parents, what goes on in the house stays in the house. What goes on in the family stays in the family. And we don't realize the destructive. And how this came about is that everybody, y'all talking in the news about Aretha Franklin, and y'all seen the movie where she was molested by her father. And she had a kid by her father, right? Y'all see that. That is kept in the family and the family secret. The abuse is more coming out, more prevalent, where not only men have abused these female and male children, but also women have abused the male and female children sexually. And no one spoke on it, but everybody knew about it. You feel what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
some of us know, or you're a parent, there's parents abusing the children, but they don't want to stand up and say something, because if I say something, then I'm going to have to do something, and if I have to do something, then that means I might have to be responsible. Why not? That might be your purpose. That also might be your blessing. So that's how I feel. So if you see something, say something. And yes, there are, don't get me wrong, there are some wolves in sheep clothing that are not being and but lie. And that's where we gotta learn discernment. That's another thing. You gotta know. Cause some people will do something just for the heck of it. And that's not saying anything bad about everybody that's doing it. And I mean the good people that are really having problem, because I learned some of them, no shade, become bisexual, sexually confused. Some of them, I'm gonna say. Then some of them become homosexual, and then some of them have sexual dysfunction, and that means some of them cannot perform at all because of the abuse, and they don't want to do anything. That has a lifetime effect on their brain. It has a lifetime effect on their body because they're holding that trauma inside their body. Your body remembers everything, even if you do not say it or speak it. Your body remembers everything, and it holds it in your body. And if you don't release it, and whether you're either doing arts or craft, talking to someone about it, you can actually damage yourself, not only mentally, and develop what my friend said, back in the day when people heard voices, what was it called, split personality. Now it's called something else, this placement. They got so many new names for these mental illness that are out, and they're all basically the same. They're disattachment from self because some kind of trauma that happened in their life that they had to leave. That is just my synopsis on it. Okay? They've had some trauma in their life, whether they remember it or not. They And that's how they escape from it. Some people escape the abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, by actually having outer body experience where another part of themselves, we have a lot of different selves going on and people don't realize, where the other self stands in and takes the beating, or the other self stand there and take the sexual abuse, and they just lay there and like, because it's not happening to them, and because it's not happening, they don't have to associate that with them. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of trauma that happens, that, and they, when they get older, they have a lot of anger. So they learn to do certain things, abusing other people. They learn to abuse themselves. They learn to either physically abuse people or verbally abuse. And that is basically a taught lesson for people to hurt themselves, but also feel like they have power. And remember, they said hurt people because they're hurt. So if you don't know anything different, if you're not given the tools how to heal or how to help yourself out of that situation, you stew in it and it takes another form. It takes another life within yourself. And it can be a danger self where it can lead you to drugs. It can lead you to alcohol. It can lead you to prostitution. It can lead you to being a nympho, sexually obsessed, or shutting down, where you basically think sex is wrong altogether, and very opinionated of it because of the shame that went along with it, but not realizing there is a difference between sex. Sex can be a beautiful thing, um a, a wonderful experience, if you know. And there are different things out there, that people can associate that if you have some of these issues. They have Tantra sex, that Shalakwe Kadosha, um, which is called sexual practice uh, shamanism. They have different ashrams that actually had, back in the day in India, they had, and actually some other places. I won't just say in India. We only say India because everybody figures Indian, because of that, some, what was it, Kama Sutra, the Kama Sutra book, where they were the temples of goddess that were healing women and men from sexual trauma, and that was their job. And it was nothing dirty like we're made to think that it need be. So for us, we need to open our eyes. Sex is actually spiritual. And I wrote a paper on, that's how I got my PhD. Sex connection and spiritual connection. There is a connection because it's spiritual. Sex is spiritual, and it could also be used just like robbing somebody, using a knife. You use a knife to cut food, but you can also use a knife to cut someone, to hurt someone. So you see, there's a double-edged sword. It can have a good positive effect where it helps feed you, clothe you, and take care of you, or it can have a negative effect where it harms you and rob you. Same thing, sex. Think about that like that. Someone's taking someone else's power away. A lot of women that are heavy set, put on weight to actually, what I learned, to put on weight to hide themselves from the world, because they've been some kind of abuse, some kind of thing. If I'm heavy set, then they're not going to bother me. If I'm heavy set, then um, the thing that I'm experiencing, it's not going to affect me. You feel what I'm saying? So we have a lot of mechanisms that our body tries to deal with when we're going through different traumas, and we don't realize. And we need to get up every day, every single day. Get up and hug yourself, every part of yourself, and say, I love you. I love you. Even, I was taught, get in front of the mirror before you get in that shower and look at yourself and say why you love yourself. There's a book called what Magic by Rhoda. She wrote the book that everybody was talking about at one time. They had a movie out with what was his name in it? They wanted Abraham to be in it, and she refused to be in it. I can't remember the movie. It's not. I guess it's not that important. But it was a book, and then it went into be is a metaphysical book. And everyday magic, she would tell you for 28 days for you would go in and you would say something, picking up a rock of loving, of communication. You would pick it up and do something with it. And I read that book, and that started me on another journey of self development and accepting my gifts because I've been gifted as a kid. And when you're gifted, you're seeing things, you're talking to other spirits. That freaks a lot of people out
Oh
when
yeah.
you're know stuff but you
Religious
don't know
people
how to
especially.
explain how you know
Yeah,
stuff. That freaks
yeah,
people out. How can
yeah.
this 8 year old know that this person's going to pass? How does 8 year old know that I need to get this? How does 8 year old know to tell me what to put in my sock and my shoe for me to get a job? How does she know that I'm looking for a job? How does she know that I'm sad? We are like computers. We can feel things, know we're deeper than computers. Let me rephrase that. You can walk in a room and gauge how you're going to be perceived before you get there. You can see it. But if you put in your mind, when I get there, everybody's going to love my speech. I'm going to be able to socialize with people that is in my tribe are going to be attracted to me, and I am going to have the best time. Guess what happens when you walk in that door? People like do 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 do, buzz. You're right there. There's a connection. Y'all start talking. You start walking, and things start flowing because you've called your tribe to you, and you built lasting relationships. This is what you do. I mean, some people are like for a season, are just seasonal, or some people like I say, like a tree. Some people are like a leaf, they leave. And then some people are like a branch. You got your thin branches and you got your thick branches, and then you got your roots. And that's your foundation. And your foundation doesn't necessarily have to come from your parents. Because I learned this, even if your parents was not able to give you the love, sometimes you got to be the parent that you want. And you got to realize your parent gave you as much information they knew at the time of their life that they were open to receive. That's a key
Right,
point. They were open to receive. Somebody can come in their life and tell them, but if they're not open to receive it, they're not going to see it. They're not going to hear it. So you can say it a million times and say, well, my mama did this, my mama did that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, was your mama or your papa or your stepmama open to receive the information that was brought to her? And some of them not, because they're stuck in that way. And you might not be able to change it. It might be somebody else. It might be years later, or it might be even on their deathbed that they realize the things and they want to apologize. But don't wait around to that. Still forgive them. Don't forgive them for them. Forgive them for you. And if you have to, let me give you a key point. Everybody that you've had a negative encounter with, write a letter to them. Get a piece of paper and write a letter. You don't necessarily have to give it to them, but you're releasing that information. This was told to me by my brother Ori. Write a letter. After you write the letter, burn it. After you burn it, let it go. Let it flitter in the sky, or take those ashes and put it in a plant. And then write a letter of forgiveness and love, and you forgive yourself, because we are the worst ones to downplay ourselves for what we experience, not understanding it's a lesson. We all come in here. I know some people might shoot me. When we come, we already kind of know what our life is going to be like, and we choose our parents, we choose our mates. I hooked up with you in this life, and I hooked up with you in that life. And I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to help, or you going to help me do what I got to do to up level. But we have come into this life to forgetfulness. So I hope some of y'all understand this. And and not too bad, because some
Well, I
people
want
might
to go
not
back.
understand this.
I want to go
Are
back
you
to
there?
some. Yeah, can you hear me?
Because I can't. Are you saying something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, keep talking.
Okay. Can you
So
hear me?
I know
Can
it's
you
the
hear me?
flow of energy
Can you
that
hear me?
we need to be able to forgive ourselves and love ourselves. And what does love look like?
Can
Everybody
you hear
got a
me?
definition of love.
Can
But
you hear
what
me?
does your love look like? What does the
Okay.
definition of love mean to you? How do you think someone shows you love? That's what I want you to take. What does love look like, and what is it defined? What is the definition for love in your book? When you find that out, that's the key point. And everybody might not know your definition of what love is. And because they don't, you can't judge them, because they might be showing you the love that they know. They might buy you a gift, or they might open the door. It's a way that they express their love. So you got to ask people, what is your love language? Your partner, what is his love language? You could be with some people are with people just for a moment to learn a lesson and then move on. And some of us get caught trying to make that moment person a forever person, and they're not supposed to be in our life forever. They're supposed to
Can you
give us a
hear me?
lesson and go bye bye.
Can you
I
hear me?
got my lesson now. I'm going to move on. Now that I move on, what else is next? What else am I going to do? How am I going to do it? And when you figure that out, you're be in a better place, because now you know, and
Can
stop
you hear
trying to
me?
make seasonal
Can you
people
hear me?
permanent, because not everybody's supposed to be permanent, and
Can
be
you hear
okay
me?
with it. And don't make no judgment. Don't think about it just like, oh, okay, they not in my life and they're not in my life for a reason. All right, I got you. I'm good. Thank you for I like to tell people, thank you for being in my life and let me learn the lessons that I need to learn. I appreciate you. But that also does not mean that I'm allowed the person that spewed poison to continue spew poison, because they, knowing they don't know better. When a child doesn't know better, you tell them something, right? And that you try to correct them. Sometimes they get it and sometimes they don't. But you don't keep letting them do the same thing over and over. Sometimes you got to remove yourself from the equation and let them think about, okay, why they're not talking to me, or why I'm not being bothered. Let them think about it. Let them miss you. Let them call on their mistake. Don't keep trying to run and put them in your life when they, and some people tell you they don't want to be in your life, but you keep running because you want to help them or you want to love them. But if they don't, say, all right, I get you. You don't want to be in my life, and now I'm gonna move on to the next phase. That's what I
Can you
think.
hear me? Can
Now
you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you. She's back.
Yeah. I want to. You can hear me now. I don't know what
Yes, ma'am.
happened.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
my mouse has been like moving all over the place. I'm not touching it, but it's like moving all over the place. And I'm like trying to anyway. I want to go back to something you said, how you can call your tribe to you.
Yes.
It reminds me, I'm reading this book called Tribes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about the how military people have a tribe when they're in combat and they're in war and they're in the military training, but when they return home they don't have that tribal connection, so that's when many of them suffer with PTSD and they get disconnected from their tribe of the combat. Now they're lost, kind of lost, floating around. But like you said, calling your tribe, I think is something that needs to be a training for military people coming back into the society, coming back into the public life. Training, we can consciously. How about it's a conscious decision to call your tribe back to you. So it's like, and you as a military person, I'm sure you're a veteran, I'm sure you're aware of this. When you're released from the military, then you have to work on consciousness again because your soul needs repairing from the war and the military. Kill, 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 kill. It's like you've got to come back and start retraining your mind, your heart, your soul to be more peaceful and to connect and get your tribal. So let me, Regina brings up a good point here. She says, Indigenous people gratitude daily.
Ashe.
So here we are, a day before the big turkey day. And and many of us are thinking about what does this really mean in our lifestyle, in our mind, in our history. And here, Indigenous people gratitude daily is really the higher thought process for most of us, or many of us.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, if we don't have a tribe, we are not going to enjoy this season. So I want to get into how we can enjoy this season. And I think part of it is not only thinking of it, Indigenous people gratitude daily, but how do we connect to our tribe? And that means having a support system,
Ashe.
having a social capital investment where you have a family that you can connect to. So, what does it mean for you, for instance? I know for me, uh, looking back, my mother was an alcoholic. So, most of the holidays were her alcoholism taking over the house, you know. And then there was a lot of sadness, but we had food. We always had food and plenty of alcohol. So this is being repeated in my son's lifestyle as well. Food and alcohol, we got to have that for tomorrow. But the higher thought for me is having people, having family together. And having family together, I think, is so important during this time. Finding your tribe and
Right.
connecting and having conversations and having a meal, have whatever, wine, glass of wine, but find your tribe and don't be alone. This is not a time for people to be alone. Find your tribe.
Oh, let me put this out there for all veterans out there. There's a number 1-800-827-1000 to call, and they connect you with a crisis time. So especially if you're alone and you're a veteran, call 1-800-827-1000 because there is a crisis and they'll guide you in the crisis. Or you can call the VA hospital, your local VA hospital, and they have a crisis line because this is the highest suicidal time is from Thanksgiving to Christmas to New Year for our veterans. This is something that really happens a lot, and this is because um, the system, they don't have enough counselors in the VA. They don't have enough specialized counselors in post-traumatic stress syndrome because it's a learned behavior of retraining. And when I got out, I used to help what they called readjustment. We used to do readjustment lessons for veterans when they were going transition from being a soldier to a civilian. Unfortunately, when it was my turn to go out during Desert Storm, we didn't do that. I was just out with my papers and that was it. And I dealt with bombs, putting bombs together, and other stuff that, you know, that was not a female job. So a lot of stuff I did was not female oriented, which was, not pretty cool, not good at all, but I made it. I was homeless for a while, I'll be honest. I did not connect with my family when I came home. Um, I was not the person that you see today. So it was not very helpful to me.
Did you read the story about the VA, the woman who was homeless in the book? And she, trillionaire. I've always messed up that title. It's trillionaire something or other, or
Millionaire,
zillionaire,
millionaire,
millionaire. Thank you,
millionaire.
million concept.
Right.
Uh,
That's
it
what.
seems like most. It seems like a lot of female and male veterans end up homeless because they cannot. My understanding is they can't deal with the people who are in their surroundings, so they have to get away from the domestic setting and go out and just be free. Your
Right.
take on that?
Well, my take is that when I came out, I went home with my mom, and I did not get along. Next thing bought a ticket, and I went to California and just live with whoever and whatever. And I allowed myself to be abused. And what I did is first I went to my where I was stationed at, and with people on the same base, and because they were on the base and they were in military housing, I got on the base with them, and I stayed with them for a while because that was familiar to me. You know what I mean? And then when that broke, I was homeless, and I got a job, and I went from one shelter to another shelter to another shelter to where I was actually pregnant and had to go back home because I was really sick. So I had I was very sick. I did not drink. Um, you know, I did not do any drugs. My thing is I just didn't feel comfortable. So my mental stability for me I was not very trusting. And if you're a man, I had no problem. I would slit your throat. That's the kind of attitude. I did not trust certain men, and I just had no problem. If they came near me, I just let them know, off with your head, you dead. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. It wasn't until I was in counseling and I was talking and I was pregnant. And my doctor asked me, and she sent in a man. I said, "You bring him in, I'm gonna cut his nuts off." And she was like, "Whoo!" I was like, I said what I said. I said, I only want to deal with a woman. I don't want no man touching me, near me. If he does, off with his head. And she was like, okay, all right, ma'am. And then they called, and I got on the train, and I took the train for the first time from California to Philadelphia. Overnight train, and that was a very healing experience, traveling cross country, looking at that. That's why I did my healing, because I was with myself. There were other people around me, don't get me wrong. I went and I ate in a diner cart and stuff like that, but to see the mountains, to get off and do different things. And I got off in Chicago to get off, to go and get on the train to go to Philadelphia. That was different for me. When I got to Philadelphia, I was a different person from when I left California. And the fact I was pregnant, um, I got, I went, I got a house. Yeah, I got a house, had my daughter. And no, I didn't. I lived with my mom. I had my daughter. It was after I had my daughter that I moved out. And then I found someone that was a drug addict, that to live with, that was helping single women, that supposedly helping single women. She was a drug addict, and I was like, something's like, no, it's either me or my child. And that kicked me into gear to change, because I had somebody else's life in my hand, and I was responsible. So that period of change is what changed my mindset. Now, I'm not saying I didn't have relapses where I might want to really hurt somebody. Yes, and my dad worked with me on that. So that was my coping skill. My dad had to work with me. My dad was also a veteran. My dad was also military. So he kind of knew, like, what to say. My dad also, like I shared with you, my dad was the one that taught me with my mind to do certain things, to really go deep within. My dad taught me mind exercises that people call metaphysical, or like I wanted to do remote viewing and all this ESP. So my dad was the one that was bringing that to me, that was natural to me to see this or that. So for me, now that I think about it, manifest is no deal, because I've been doing that all my life and just not realizing when I'm
But
at my
it
huh?
sounds like your dad was really the only positive, or one of the few positive relationships you had with men.
Yeah, my dad was my world, and my daddy too.
Yeah.
I have my dad and my daddy. I have two dads. I was fortunate enough. My dad was always positive about me, and my daddy was too. My dad had motorcycles, so I grew up around van clubs and motorcycles and stuff like that. I was not your average girl. I was a tomboy. It's just that I didn't like girls. I thought I didn't want to be, I'm not a girly girl. I'm never going to be a girly girl. Um, I'm feminine, but that was never my thing. I liked to hang out with my dad while he was working on the car. When my dad was lifting weights, I wanted to lift weights. So that's what I did before I went into the military. And I
But
looked,
when you express the anger about only wanting a female to help you or support you, that says a lot about having to overcome that relationship with other men who have not been like your dad.
no,
Like,
that wasn't it. I was raped.
yeah. Well, that's what
Raped
I'm saying.
multiple times. No,
The
not it.
abuse that you experienced with other men gave you this hatred for some relationship. You didn't want any relationship with men, but your dad saved you in that you at least had experienced a beautiful relationship. Imagine though, some women not only have abusive fathers, but they go out into the world and they have abusive relationships. And
Right.
saying that because that's why we have a lot of hatred in our society right now. Is girls fighting each other, girls fighting everybody. And I'm looking at that as, wow, did you have any positive influences in your life? Probably not, because
Right.
they're still angry. Because when you express your own anger, that's an emotion that's totally natural when you've had some relationships of men who demonstrated such abuse and hatred toward you. But I'm just grateful that you had a father relationship that was so positive that helped you come back to the reality that yes,
Yeah. My
I'm
daddy. See,
all
I
these
was
other,
right. See, I was blessed to have not one but two daddies. Two dads in
yes.
my life. So that in itself, and I was a young girl. So for me, that's a positive. So I have certain people during the time, like I said, I would not trust, and I had no problem with women, even though there was some distrust. I didn't have the most positive relationship with my mother growing up, and that is saying something. That I developed that look of what is the lesson of love, and keep loving yourself and love no matter what. If love is you, then that's what you do. And I've always said that I'm love, and because I'm love, I gotta love. No matter what, despite lessons. And those lessons can be very hard. And sometimes we repeat the lessons over and over. Um, what happened?
Just keep
Uh,
talking. I can hear you. We can hear you.
okay, sometimes
It's
we
one of those nights.
just like it's like, okay, we gonna do this tonight.
Yeah,
But
we're on Blog Talk now.
it's like, okay. So I learned, the lesson of who's in my corner, who's not in my corner, and what's gonna make me be the person I want to be. And my thing is that I always wanted to be, close to my mom, and have her, I figure, love me the best way
Oh dear,
I
now
want.
Blog Talk. Okay. And Royal Music 77 says that you are loved and I love you.
Thank you.
Can you see the screen?
No, ma'am.
And then she says, don't forget that I love you. Thank you, E Royal Music 77 Queen. And I say for each one of you, like Dr. D mentioned earlier, you need to look in the mirror every morning and say, you are beautiful.
I
There's
should.
a show that comes on, and she has this song that says, I'd like to be beautiful. I'd like to be this. I'm like, no, I'm taking that to the next level. I am beautiful. I ain't
I
like,
say.
I am beautiful today, tomorrow, every day. Especially as we get older, my skin is changing, and I look at that as I'm moving more and more into an eternal consciousness. And
All
this
right.
body, we think this body is going to be permanently beautiful or whatever we thought it was going to be in our young youth. But and when you reach that,
Uh-uh. Y'all just doing too much today.
here we go back again. We're going in and out. We're flowing though. Here we are. So we're feeling, I guess this was a sign that we should wind it down.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, somebody said, why you cut it off? It's just like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. This computer has been on a mind of its own tonight. It's like my mouse is like moving around. I'm like, what? I'm not even touching it. And then I didn't cut anybody off. It cut me off. So
Right.
we are in the flow, though. Listen, Dr. D and I are in the flow no matter what happens. The rest of the year, the rest of our life, we are in the flow. We make adjustments, the psychology of adjustments. That was my dad's favorite class, and he taught me well. I don't get into depression, sadness, and all that. I don't stay there. Let me say that. I don't stay there. When my partner passed, I cried for about a minute, and then I'm like, he's in peace. He's out of pain. So I'm moving on. And I'm remembering him in so many ways. So who said that anyway? Let me say, who put that up there? That was ES I can't PN 5846. Why you cut her off? All right, we cleared that up. And then we got Royal Music. As long as you have self-love and oneness with the creator, you can't go wrong. That's right. That's right. And so every morning, this season, we're going to talk briefly about this holiday, holy day season of eating and celebrating, and mostly family. I think it's the most important thing for us to focus on this season is family, developing your tribe, attracting your tribe, and building social capital, and sending love to everybody. I was at the grocery store earlier, and my son said, "Oh, it's gonna probably be crazy," and I'm like, "No, it ain't. It's not gonna be crazy." And it was beautiful. I was running into people. I had strangers, and we were like, "Hi, how are you? You having a good day?" Yes, we were just like buddies. Everybody was like having a great time, loving each other, showing love,
And that's
kindness.
what I loved about Guam, and that's what I loved about Guam and Hawaii. No matter where you are, you always high. When I came back to the mainland, I had to realize and adjust because I was used to saying hi. I say hi. I didn't care who you are. Hi, how you doing? And my friend says sometimes we say hi and how you doing, and we walk away. They don't even wait. They really don't care. It just becomes a greeting. It doesn't mean anything, so it really doesn't have an energy. But when you see certain person, I was like, "Hi, how are you doing?" And I wait to hear a response. Then they go, "Oh, I'm doing good." And I was like, "I am so glad you have a beautiful day." And they're like, "Okay." Then people like, "Well, why do you do that?" Because you don't know that, "Hi, how you doing? Have a beautiful day." You might have made somebody's day that was really sad. Or if I see somebody, whether it was a woman or a man, and I like something, I might say, "You know what? That is a beautiful hairstyle. You are working that, sister. Congratulations." And they'll look at me like, "Okay." Or they have whatever it is that I think is beautiful, I speak up on and say, "That is beautiful. You are just wearing that. That suits you so beautifully, so well." And that response actually helps a lot of people because they might not have thought that looked nice, or they might have been depressed, or you might have saved somebody's life with just giving them a greeting of "How you doing? You look beautiful," or whatever, and made their whole entire difference of maybe they not wanting to commit suicide. So that's why I make it a point of when I do is that no matter what, because some people might not respond, and I'll be like, "Okay, now don't say I don't get up get fussing on the road when I deal with these beings," and that's what I'm gonna call it. And beings is nice that don't know how to
Okay,
drive.
look at this question. No, this is a good place to wound up. How do we celebrate Thanksgiving when it was so dark? The root of this holiday was horrible. Okay, here's the thing I'm doing. I was in the kitchen cooking collard greens this morning or this evening before the show. I thought about how our ancestors on the plantation used collard greens to nourish themselves. Okay, the collard greens are a weed, basically. They grows everywhere, grows wild. Those Native Americans, the slaves, they recognized collard greens as nourishment. Okay, So I also made dressing. I made the cornbread with the cornmeal and the flour, and I cut up the celery and the onions. And I, for the first time, I used fresh sage because I saw it in the grocery store. Usually, I use the seasoned sage to make my dressing. I saw
Uh-huh.
fresh sage, and I saw a recipe. I'm like, you. So I cut up all these fresh celery, mixed it all up, fried it, and in some butter, and put it in the cornbread. So it's over there waiting to go in the oven. This is what this time period is about, eating together with your family, remembering what our ancestors did to survive, whether it was dark or not, whether it was turmoil or chaos, our ancestors survived. So celebrate the survival energy that our ancestors brought to us today. We have survived. We're here. So celebrate with family, with friends, with
Right.
homeless people. Go out if you're all by yourself, why don't you go find a homeless person? If you got money, take them to dinner or something, or take them some food. But
Right.
don't be alone. We want to celebrate our tribe. Okay, we started out talking about celebrate your tribe wherever that is. Create a tribe. How do
Uh,
how do we heal from it? Just what I said. Make new friends. Bring a tribe together, and create something wonderful.
And they have a lot going on this holiday, with a lot of churches actually having meals so you don't have to eat by yourself. So a lot of churches are getting together. Some of them are giving out, what is it, meal boxes, but some are actually cooking um, a dinner. Like we did on Thanksgiving, when my kids were growing up. We used to go out and we used to cook, cook with them and hand out meals and sit with them and let them eat. And we didn't eat until late when my kids were younger. And then that was the time that we would go. I think it was to whatever local store that they used to have Christmas trees that you could adopt a family. So we would actually go into that store and adopt a family, and we would buy gifts for the family. So that was our tradition when my kids were growing up. All the holidays, they we would eat late. As they got older in Arizona, they would eat late, and I fixed the meal before we got there. So all we had to do is just heat it up when we got back home, and I used to explain to them why. And then the tradition was after we finished from there, we would go to the store and pick a star off the tree and take a family. One year, my daughter decided she wanted to do a family all by herself with her own money. My son decided he wanted to do the same thing. So my son sponsored a family. So we sponsored three families, um, for Christmas. And then think nothing of it and went home and it was like, okay. And I asked them, what did they get out of doing that? And my daughter and my son was like, I hope to see somebody smile on their face to get the things that they requested on the list. Because we
Yeah.
have been there where we didn't have. But it was like they didn't have the fancy things, but eventually my daughter and my son said, eventually I got it. It might not have been during Christmas, but you remember what I had and eventually got it for me, so I'm grateful. So if we
Yeah.
can do this for this, why not? So I
Yeah.
think that's what developed over the years by teaching them and letting them see, look, we got a home to go to. They might not have a home to go to after this and might not be able to cook because they might not have electric. They might not have water. They might not have anything for them to eat. This might be their only meal of the day, is what I think. So I am grateful. So for me, we spent every Saturday and Sunday as a family, cooking and making meals together, because it wasn't just the holidays, it was every Saturday and Sunday. And then we got to the point we started making meals. Like, okay, I want to make tamales or pasteles or, pasta or whatever. We made it turned into something more, that my I wanted to make sure my children know that I love them, not what material things, but spending time in my voice mattered to them. That's what I wanted them to remember, because I wanted them to pass down what I learned to their children. That was my hope.
Yes, and Kwame, I think this Kwame said the massacre of 700 Pequot Indians. Listen, listen, listen. There has been so much hatred in this planet, not just to mention the United States,
That's
Europe, where there has been so much. That's why we have these unending wars where these reptilians and other creatures want to see blood sacrifice of children. This is what I'm starting to really understand the spiritual meaning of all these wars. There are reptilians and non-humans who want to see blood sacrifice of children. This is the wickedness. So I'm saying that, yeah, we've had massacre of 700 Indians. We've had the Trail of Tears. We've had so many hateful activities in our planet, period, that
right.
now, as we are awakening, as we are becoming more conscious, we celebrate survival. We celebrate resilience of our ancestors. Because how did my maternal grandparents survive all that when they as Native Americans in Southern Illinois and Kentucky? How did they survive that? It was meant for me to be.
Well, there you go. We're going. I don't know. It's going in and out. I understand what she's saying about survival, but I want to take it another level higher. It's not only about surviving; it's being victorious. We no longer are survivors. We are victors. We are victorious people, victorious beings. We got to remember that we walk in victory. And another word, Dr. V had taught me is thrive. We are thriving now. And because we are thriving, we have to walk in that thriving energy. We are glorious, so we need to walk in that glorious energy. When we walk in that glorious and thriving energy, we do better, we know better, and we say better. We got to keep that up, the positivity. And like she was saying, I'll even expand even more about some beings. Some beings, they feed off of negativity. So the sadder you are, basically you're feeding in. The angrier you are, you feed into them. There's a bucket of energy. The highest energy form there is that I was taught on this radar chart. The highest energy is love. It beams even outside our planet and can be felt from trillions
Absolutely.
of miles away. I was taught that in not only in, if you believe in dimensional, it goes several dimensional beings when you're thriving with love and you vibrate at that level. And don't saying that you don't get down and you don't lower down, but you got to remember to get back up and bring that energy back up. The more we love, the more we change. The more the joy, the more we change. The more, so when we put that out there, we vibrate at a higher, this planet itself vibrates at a higher vibration because we're love. And because this is a free will planet, that's what we got to remember, a free will planet. And it sometimes not free will because we're only given certain information to make us feel we are free. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. That's
But you
why.
got to figure out what free is. Free, free, free can be a lot of different things. You just got to figure out what it is for you, because we don't realize we're giving up a lot of our freedoms. That's something me and you had talked about. We
Yeah.
don't like the things that are coming. You basically giving up your freedom and not realizing that you are, because they're passing these laws. And y'all like, okay, well, I give up my freedom. Don't realize they don't mean nothing. It's just something to violate you, something to make you skeptical, something to make you put on guard. When you're on your guard, what kind of energy do you put out? When you're on guard, it's not a loving energy because you're guarded against everything, anything that's going on. And I'm not saying that, oh, everything is fine and everything is grand and, oh, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's things, but how you face it and how you say it is how it be determined. That's what I learned. My dad said you can make the most saddest thing positive. He said, if you look at anything, you can learn anything. You can learn anything in your life if you choose to. But if you have a closed mind and you shut down, you ain't going to learn anything because you know it all. And if you know it all, then why are you still here? Because you be able to, make this planet be what it is because you know it all. So you can learn anything from anybody. You can learn something from a baby. And there was a guru that I forgot his name, and he learned to laugh from a baby. He said, we should laugh like babies. And he
Oh,
was
yeah.
sitting there laughing and laughing. And do you realize laughing is very contagious? When you laugh,
Mhm.
your energy, especially listen to a baby laugh. That's the thing I want you to go and Google, YouTube or whatever, a baby's laugh, and listen if it touched your heart. And if it does, it's going to make you laugh. And then when you laugh, the person next to you going to laugh. It is contagious and it's a joyful feeling. That's why children are important. That's why the elderly are important. We have forgotten that part. And then I'm going to leave that alone. I could go on and on. Um,
Well, there's a lot of love in here for you. Infinity Blue, do you know who that is? Says, I love you, Big
yes.
Sis.
Hi,
Royal,
Blue.
Royal
Love you, love you,
Music's
love you.
Royal
Yeah.
Music's been expressing love from the beginning. We give praise and thanks to you all for joining
Yeah.
us tonight. And tomorrow is just another day to show love. Okay?
Yes.
Whatever. Do not let the calendar control your behavior. I was talking to somebody, a 7-day Adventist person, and we got into the fact that, well, the seventh day is the day to rest, it's the Sabbath. And I say, but have you thought about the calendar that you're following to do that? Oh, no, no, no. The calendar has always been the same. And the Bible says 6 days you work and 7 days. I said, but have you thought about the Gregorian calendar, how messed up it is? No, 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 no. The calendar is what it is. And I'm like, okay, we agreed to disagree. So I went on and I thought, wow, that's how programmed we are. Like tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We got all these expectations. We got to eat till we drop and explode. But Dr. D and I are sharing with you and encouraging you to just love tomorrow. Show love wherever you are. If you're alone, go out and find there are plenty of homeless people all over this planet. Go out and find some homeless, unhoused, let me say unhoused people and talk to them. Share a meal with them. If you have money, buy them a meal. It's time for us to show more love, not to follow a calendar that is very imperfect, but just show more love. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave it there too. And Dr. D has encouraged everybody to buy the book, and as we said, I'm offering the book tonight because my dad's birthday Saturday. Starting tomorrow, you can get the book for $2.99. If you send me a cash app, I'll send you the PDF right away and send me your email. From tomorrow, starting tomorrow, Black Friday, or no, starting tomorrow, whatever day it is, 27th, through the 29th, you can get the book for $3.99. Okay, Dr. D, any closing words for our
I would say love yourself in a special way every day and send out love every day. And anything negative that comes at you, turn around and try to see the positive from it. If you do that, your life will be better. That's that's it. I am
absolutely.
Dr. D.
Start out tomorrow. Look in the mirror and say, "You are beautiful. I love you. I love you. I love you." And then go share that energy with everybody else. So, thank you all for being here. I say namaste to all my yogi friends. Shalom to all my brothers and sisters. Satnam, Ashe, Ashe, O, and Aho, Ho to all of you and everybody. Have a beautiful evening.
Thank you.
Thank
Night.
God. Thank us.
Okay. I don't know how to